Yes, finding out if that one's still out.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
He hasn't gone back in.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't know why I did that.
That was a
I
choice.
don't have a good excuse.
Sure did say that.
And then finger gunned your way out of it too. Like, incredible.
Yeah, you know. Well, here I am. Hi, friends.
If this is the vibe we're starting with, I can only imagine that it's going to be uphill from here.
Oh, yeah.
And by uphill, I mean more unhinged.
Yeah, it's gonna go somewhere for sure.
I'm crocheting a White Claw koozie.
Hell yeah.
I love that for you.
Bring it.
I mean,
Just where we're at today.
It's a valid place to be at. And nobody is in a place to do an unhinged rant, probably in part because we do not have Raph and or Julia to provide that for us.
Or
and
Cass.
everyone
Cass
is a little
has come
and
out with
Cass.
some unhinged bangers.
Cass is also watching the chat right now.
Oh, hey! Rip to the ghosts.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Cass approved of your phrasing, Della.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah. I needed to make sure you knew that.
That's good. I'm glad people are perceiving this. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, look. Wine.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Tonight is going to be a time. All right, I think
Let's
with that,
go.
let's I regret that. I'm just going to take us to the thanks for watching screen. We did it, guys. We don't need to go any further.
Hey.
Dodge the rammies.
And so, hi, we are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and good causes. Currently, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders to support the important work they are doing in multiple countries, including in Gaza and Ukraine and other places that are experiencing atrocities currently. We ask that rather than giving us any of that fake cryptocurrency, rather than doing that, giving anything to Jeff Bezos, you put it directly to Doctors Without Borders. And you can do that by finding the donate button, which is where the subscribe button would usually be. If you are on mobile and therefore cannot find that, you can click !donate and the link will pop up for you to be able to donate that way. I am completely forgetting things because that is where my brain is at today. It has been a week, and that is fine because we are here and we are going to do this. So, yes, we ask that you donate. We ask that you do that also rather than subscribe or anything else. However, if you do have an Amazon Prime sub, you are welcome to throw that our way. Just be forewarned that if you do, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog for every month you have been subscribed. I think it was on last Thursday. Am I right in thinking it was Thursday, or was it Monday? It was one of those days.
It was Thursday because Will Malkus was there.
That's right. 78 dogs. I'm looking at least at one person here in this room who contributed, two people in this room who contributed to large numbers of dogs. You're both monsters.
Was it me?
It wasn't. Actually, you were completely innocent.
Chihuahuas were originally bred as meat animals.
What?
The fact that you just leaned over into your mic to whisper that was incredible and horrifying. He was just like, I'm here, and I've got to experience this.
I had to take that into my person, into my heart, and that's just where we are now. Mm-hmm.
The vibes
Sometimes
are
you learn
interesting.
facts, and sometimes those facts squat in your brain, waiting to be released.
Hey, looters' rights, squatters' rights, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know words. Fucking, what do you want from me? It's fine.
Yeah, y'all wanna play pretend?
I am caught in the fact that Cass is still contributing via chat, and that is incredible. Thank you for these facts, both Della and Cass.
Guinea pigs too, still eaten. Delicious, apparently.
You know what? We're gonna get into introductions. We're gonna get into introductions. By the way, this is Redacted. This is our psychological horror game. A couple of content and trigger warnings before we introduce the characters and start. This game includes subject matter, including cults, religion, fire, burns and being burned, medical abuse and neglect, murder, gaslighting, drowning, stalking, essentially forced institutionalization, since we are dealing with an now abandoned TB ward. And I've already said most of the others. So technically, tonight's episode also involves the outcomes of gun-related violence. So I'm going to add that as a content warning too. If any of those for you would cross any lines, please do not force yourself to watch this stream. We have plenty of other content that does not include these specific elements, so join if you are able, but we would rather you prioritize yourself and your self-care. So with that, I'm going to have each person go around, introduce themselves, introduce the host body and that playbook, and tell us who you currently are and which playbook you are subsequently using. Starting with Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph. Tonight I am playing, host body Kai Caldwell, the Martyr Playbook. He's currently still out. We'll see how long that lasts, given what just happened.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. We did not end last episode on a big cliffhanger, so I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. Q, you are up next.
We didn't. You know what? Never mind. Hi, I'm Q. I'm playing the host body, Weston Dominic Brooks. And he's also got some friends in here. There's Raven, Weston's the villain. It's fine. There's Raven, the trickster. There's Christian, the hero. And then there's Russell, the child. And I'm currently, if I remember correctly, I'm currently Christian.
That sounds correct to me.
Mm-hmm.
And last but certainly not least, Della.
Hi, I'm Della. Tonight, I will be playing Siobhan. The host body is Rachel Blauhair. She is the parent playbook. I will also be playing Siobhan. Siobhan is the Martyr playbook. I will also be playing Dr. James Finley, who is the Dragon playbook. Don't worry, it's fine. And well, I'll also be playing the bearer of the sacred flame. Let me out. Finally. I'm the villain.
we are having a normal one here.
You ruined brunch, don't lie.
I didn't ruin brunch.
No, JD ruined brunch.
No, JD ruined brunch.
Della, I feel like we can't have Finley come out because all I'm going to be thinking about is Monday's episode and imagining
The library.
The library. Take me to the library. The brain in the jar is not Dr. Finley. It's a different German. There's lots of Germans in this game. Not this game, the other game. Watch Thy Kingdom Come. We're weird.
I mean, we also had a very normal time in that game.
It was the most ADHD ass session.
Just because we all almost became dogs doesn't mean anything.
You guys
I'm
could have
sorry?
just been dogs. The trash fairies offered.
They're trying to escape the horrors of being alive as humans.
So what if you just became dogs?
Exactly.
Sure.
What
yeah,
if you
that
already
tracks.
was a dog?
That's how they
I
got on the
need to catch
topic.
up. I gotta catch up. I'm so behind. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it is fine. That game got weird fast. Anyway, this game is very normal. This game is very normal. We are all also having a very normal time with, I believe, our good friend, what's his name?
Abraham?
Abraham? Yeah. Our good friend Abraham who didn't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. One of you really fucked around and found out last time. And I think with that is a perfect segue into where to begin. We're not going to see what else is happening on the island in this moment because the most important thing that has happened just happened in front of all of you.
Yeah.
You were sitting down. You had gotten a full night of sleep. Some better than others. Actually, I guess that's a lie. Some of you did not get a full night of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, shame about that. But some of you had rested. Some of you had even had pleasant dreams. And you went out to brunch. You were having a good conversation. Seemed arguably one of the most normal moments you'd had on Slatethorn since all of you arrived. And that was when one of you, someone who has experience in matters like this, caught that a tragedy was about to unfold and tried to prevent it. Caught the glint of a sniper's rifle and had enough time to issue orders before that gun was fired. Kai, you and Christian both listened immediately. You got down, you got out of the way, but Abraham, who is currently the one piloting Dr. Marabas's body, well, he doesn't like to take orders. And that made him hesitate just long enough for that bullet to go directly through his head. There are screams of other patrons running towards the doors. Those of you who are down You don't see Abraham's body fall. He is still sitting up in the chair.
Oh no.
But you see the blood. You see the twitching of his hand before it goes limp. What do you do?
What's the exit wound like?
It is surprisingly clean. Almost surgical.
Interesting. The bearer is going to stand up, grab one of the little cloth napkins, wipe up some of the blood on it, fold it up, tuck it away in their pocket. It's going to look at the two of them and say, "We should leave, or the police come."
Should not be standing up.
I think Christian, after one seeing the body didn't fall, I think he's immediately going to get up, and I think he wants to see if they're quick enough, the sniper, if they're quick enough to just get away, or if he can get eyes on them.
I think that you are going to be rolling with awareness.
Okay. All right, let's see how good our boy is at that.
Maybe.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. It's a 12.
Ooh,
Hmm.
Nancy.
And so, with that, you can ask more than one question. So I am going to say that you do, kind of looking at the angle of the gunshot, you follow that trajectory looking out the window. You see that the sniper is still there. You can't clearly make them out, but that telltale glint is there. They have not moved. And I'll give you this for free.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, you would be perfectly in line to take a shot. But no shot comes. You do not seem to be the intended target.
Okay.
So there's more than one target?
I think Christian is running out to go and intercept.
Okay.
Did Mara Abraham have a bag with them at all?
That I would have to clarify with Cass. I'm imagining probably not, since you were using their car.
Oh, that's right. I'm taking their. Wait, someone else had the car keys?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I was like, Abraham did not drive himself.
Mm.
That man has never driven himself anywhere. Okay. Then
The bearer is going to pick up Rachel's bag and is going to walk out nonchalantly. Probably will. Can I also make an alertness roll to see if I see the sniper?
I would love that for you.
oh, that was a big one.
The challenge coin Geodis gave me. Where's my character sheet?
Where's my super suit?
Where's my super suit? That's Finlay. And that is here we are. Yes, quite wonderful. Here I am.
We really do need to make Google Sheets for these.
I
may
know,
do that.
it's so handy. I'm just trying to see my.
I feel like I can
okay, here
backward
I am.
engineer that.
Okay. I set this up in a way that made sense at one point. Ooh,
That's a
that's
mood.
12.
Hey!
Nice.
Big rolls.
We're super aware today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that
We're
adrenaline.
awake.
It's hypervigilance, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Della, the bearer, you of course can also see that the sniper is still where they were. They have not yet moved.
What building are they on?
They are, it's interesting because, I mean, you can really take a shot from anywhere, but they seem to be on the roof of a house.
I'm gonna just go saunter right on over to that house.
Okay, so we have Christian. I guess, Christian, how are you approaching the house?
I think he is taking a route that gives him as much cover as possible, but he is running.
And you are sauntering up to the house, bearer of the sacred flame.
Mm-hmm.
Kai, I just need to know from my own mental map, what are you doing as Christian runs towards the house, the bearer saunters? What are you doing?
I'm not staying the fuck here, but I'm not standing up because I don't trust that. So Kai kind of stays crouched down and just gets the fuck out as quickly as he can in a crouched position until he's out of. He stays crouched until he's out of the line of sight of the windows where the shot came from, and then he's up and booking it after the other two. Because he's like, no one I came here with is hosting right now, so I'm just not gonna get separated because I don't. What the fuck is this? Also, the keys are with one of them, so.
And that, I mean, makes perfect sense. I will say there's a moment, Kai, as you are just kind of cautiously making your way, staying as low as you can to the floor, that your mind keeps saying to you over and over again, you don't need to do this. This is not the way you die.
Not dying on this fucking island.
And so, Christian, you are moving the fastest. And so you are the person who sees this. Your eyes are locked on the sniper. I mean, I would imagine so is the bearer of the sacred flame, though they are moving a bit more slowly. And you are about halfway to the house when there is a ripple in the air around the sniper. And you know you didn't blink. You know you didn't look away. But there is this ripple and this shimmer, and they are gone.
No.
I think Christian stops, looking up where they where the sniper had been. There's a mixture of frustration and concern. And I think he just sort of looks around, I guess, for the others now at this point, making sure no one else had been attacked.
I'm assuming Kai catches up around this point.
Yeah.
Bear keeps walking.
I was gonna clarify, but I assumed.
As the bear is walking, you see they unzip the pouch, the bag, and they pull out a little clip with some bullets. And they pull out a like a little knife, and they basically start basically like shotgun shells, and they start like taking apart the shells and collecting the gunpowder
Mm-hmm.
as they approach the house, sort of sprinkling the sort of flicking the little lead balls away as they approach the house.
Christian, did you have eyes on what the fuck? Do you have eyes on them?
No, they disappeared
As in they like
out of thin air.
like ghosted.
Yeah, like I was looking directly at them, and then they just kind of went whoop, and they
Of
were
course.
gone.
Of course.
Yeah, right, because that's what we're dealing with, and that seems fair to me, right?
I don't think anyone's playing by any fair rules anymore. Fuck. Do you know who that? Just pointing towards the bearer, Rachel. Just like, did that person sound familiar to you at all?
Not to me personally. However, there is someone in here who does not care for that one at all. So, I think I'm just going to stay out here. I'm going to stay in the driver's seat, and we're just kind of going to let that be. I think
Where are they going?
they're going to the house where the sniper was, but I feel like we should, if you want to like check up on them, make sure that they're all right. I'm gonna.
It's not split up too much because we just lost.
Okay, see, my concern is we left the body.
I mean, yeah, I'm assuming the cops are going to be here real soon because everyone else ran out screaming.
Yeah, well, they weren't there when the mayor got run over, right? So,
I mean, that wasn't in town.
we brought the mayor in to the
I
hospital.
know what you meant. I'm gonna go see what the fuck, and Kai's just gonna catch up to the bearer.
Yep, I've got a theory. I'm gonna go check on it. I'll be right there.
Cool. What am I doing?
The bearer is now crouched in some dry brush beside the house with that handkerchief sort of laid out over top of it and just a little lighter. Not a big fire. Probably won't actually burn the house down, but it might. And before they touch the lighter to the gunpowder, you sort of overhear them saying, "Angel of death who has blessed this island, cleanse this dwelling."
Hey, could
Hey,
we?
Della,
Yeah.
since you're doing this, I think before Kai has a chance to say anything.
No.
I'd like you to make me a luck roll.
Sick.
I'm sorry, what now?
JD.
What's good, what's bad, and like good for who? Bad for
Actually,
who?
let's say, Steph, tell me highs or lows.
Fuck you.
I can tell you what I rolled.
But let's find out, because we'll decide. Steph will call which one is good and which one is bad.
Highs are good, lows are bad.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Fairly high, but high.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, whatever gets us there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, a fire is definitely starting, but it does not seem necessarily like it is going to immediately affect the house. Immediately being the operative word.
Hey, they disappeared off the roof. They're not in there. What the fuck you doing?
Burning this house down.
People might be inside?
Yes.
You make my brain itch. Oh, okay.
That's what makes it a sacrifice.
Why do we need to sacrifice someone just got popped over there? Is that not enough for today?
Probably not.
Who are you?
I am the bearer of the sacred flame.
Okay. Are you
You've
going to
never
watch
been
it burn?
burned.
I brushed up against some hot glue guns, a hot stove. I've had mild burns. So I have been burned. Thank you very much. Are you just gonna keep standing here? Because I can leave you to whatever the fuck if you need to worship the flame or whatever it is you're doing. Because you know the cops are coming.
Yeah. The police.
Okay.
Are you actually concerned about the police here?
I'd like to think I'm faster and better at dodging them than they're used to in this place. But things have been, no pun intended, heating up around here in the past, like, day or two. So that everyone might be a little twitchy and on edge. And I'd rather not draw more attention to us being outsiders. And having all this weird shit coincide with us arriving.
The flames have caught the side of the house.
Okay,
I'm not an outsider.
well, the body you're in is.
Details.
Point is, I'm not interested in whatever a modern day witch hunt on this fucking island looks like. I don't think adding arson to the list of shit is the best way to. You know what? You're gonna do what you.
You're running out of time to save whoever's in the house, if that matters to you.
Hey, oh, you're gonna be okay. One problem for another. Yeah, Kai is going to run up to the. It's a small island. He's gonna try the doorknob first. People. He may or may not have locked it at this point, given the murder happened.
Door is locked.
Of course, a murder just happened. Kai's just gonna, like, pound on the door, ring the bell, and just be like, hey, your house is on fire, you need to get the fuck out. I'm not joking.
I would like you to roll with Shadow.
Okay. Okay, that's an 8.
And so, you grab the doorknob, you ring the doorbell, you are trying desperately to get someone's attention. And it surprises you that what happens next happens, because weird stuff has happened to you since you've been on the island, but nothing quite like this. Nothing quite like touching an object and getting a read off of it. Because as you are trying to open that door, as you press the doorbell again and again, as you knock, as your hand just automatically goes to see, maybe just, I didn't put enough force behind it. Maybe it is unlocked. You get an impression and you realize this house has been empty for a long time. And as you realize that, you start to notice things. The outside, which you would swear looked maybe a little worn by salt, but not too weather worn given the state of what it could be. No, it's faded. It's almost getting to a place of starting to decay, and you have this sudden sense of floating, like you have turned insubstantial. And you don't mean to, but you move through the door and you see there's no furniture, there's no kitchen table, there's no couch. There's just room after empty room. No sign of life, no sign of habitation. The trouble is, you're not quite sure how to get back to your body.
Sorry, what?
You're not quite sure how to get back to your body. And for your part, bearer of the sacred flame, you see Kai grab the doorknob and then just freeze. His hand locked on it, staring blankly ahead and not moving. We're going to get back to that in just a second, because
fight me.
as that happens, Christian, you had a hypothesis you wanted to check out.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I'm going back in and look at the body. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that it's still there.
And so, Christian, you walk back in to where you were just sitting down for that lovely breakfast buffet. You see abandoned plates. You see overturned chairs. You see food still waiting in the warmers. You see blood splattering the floor. But you do not see the body of Dr. Maravos. And you know it has been a minute,
Yeah.
2 at most. And there were no signs. There were no vehicles that approached. There were certainly no sirens approaching, though you are hearing sirens starting in the distance.
not really a big fan of unsolved mysteries or unsolvable mysteries, very specifically. This has been incredibly frustrating. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Um, I think we're gonna. I think Christian just sort of takes a moment to see if someone like came in and took them away, if the body just got up on its own and walked away, or if the body was just suddenly no longer there, like the sniper. I think he's sort of going Sherlock Holmes on it.
And I think that will be another awareness roll, though I will answer one of those questions at least somewhat for free. And that is
Okay.
did Dr. Voss just stand up and walk out? You are fairly certain that isn't the case. You're not 100% certain
Okay.
because perhaps that wound could have also closed if that happened, but
Hmm.
there is no blood splatter or drops of blood that would indicate that the body stood up and moved.
Gotcha. All right. It's an 8. I was going to ask one question. What stands out to me the most?
Good one. I told you that you were pretty certain the body hadn't just stood up and left because there was no blood trail to follow. But what stands out to you is with things having been thrown all over the places they were, food on the floor, furniture on the floor, all of that, it would be really hard to make a path going to any of the exits, especially the exits that are not the ones that you and everyone else went out of. And you're thinking that hypothesis, that the body somehow disappeared just like the sniper did, is the most likely one. Because there are no signs that anyone has been walking through here in a way where they could have come in, grabbed the body, and left.
Okay. Data point. Is there
I'm
anything
going.
like left, like residue left behind?
There is, of course, still blood. There is still a bit of brain matter as well. You go to the chair that Abraham was sitting in. One thing that stands out is it's warm to the touch. Not like a body has been sitting in it, like something got superheated.
Hmm.
And you even notice there's almost a scorch mark on the back of the chair. And as you're mulling that over, I think a reasonable question and hypothesis would be knowing what you know about Dr. Voss and their activity on the island. Did someone walk by and, for instance, put something on them that would have allowed the same thing that presumably happened with the sniper to happen with them as well? Or were they tagged with that previously? And was it activated after death? That second one feels like it would perhaps link up with what you just saw.
I think Christian is going to go out, try and find, well, go and see what the other two have been up to, I guess.
And so, bearer of the sacred flame, we have left you with Kai, who is standing by the door, frozen.
How close are the flames to the door? How close are they to Kai?
Right now, there's still, I would say, at least 15 feet between Kai and the flames. They're going to make their way over to him at some point, but it's not imminent.
I want to do a dumb thing, JD. I want to try to bring Kai back to his body in a dumb way, in an upsetting kind of way. Before I do this, though, I want to roll with Shadowed. I want to see if it's possible to do.
That is valid.
Actually,
please do it.
No, I just want to do it. I just want to do it because I feel like something's going to happen no matter what I do.
Okay.
The bear is going to sort of look at this, sort of interested, like, oh, what an interesting thing to be doing. Just standing there holding the doorknob. Not what I would have done, but that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. Once it becomes clear that this is not something that Kai is necessarily doing consciously or fully willingly, and the bear kind of twigs to what may be happening, they're going to sort of walk over to the smoke, take a big, deep breath, lungful of smoke, hold their breath, walk over to Kai, pinch his nose shut, and exhale all of the smoke from their lungs into Kai's. In an attempt to summon him back to his body.
Absolutely incredible.
Good thing he don't have asthma, Jesus.
This is me helping. I'm helping.
There are just so many things that I love about this that for right now, I'm not going to have anybody roll quite yet. And so, bearer of the sacred flame, you do that. And Kai, your body feels that smoke entering it and panics. And you are upsettingly quickly yanked into your body. On the one hand, it's a relief because you are no longer untethered and floating through this abandoned house. On the other, the bearer of the sacred flames has locked lips with you. And that is what Christian walks out to see. The house is on fire.
It's not the Finleys.
Hey, not to alarm anyone, but that house is actively on fire. You shouldn't maybe be kissing in front of it.
What the fuck? Anything he was trying to say just is stuck in his throat as he's just coughing up smoke and just shoving the bearer back as he's also stumbling back and probably falling down the steps. Because what the fuck is going on?
The bear.
I'm gonna go back. Sorry, you go ahead.
The bearer, like, smiles and like steps away, walks away, and says, "That wasn't a kiss. You would know if it were a kiss."
I don't know if that's better or worse. Fuck! What did you put in my lungs? Ugh,
Burnt aluminum siding, mostly.
okay.
So we're just actively.
I kind of left my body for a moment and I woke up to this. So I'm just confused. We should go. Did you find anything? Let's just walk and talk away from here to the car.
Yeah, the sirens are the police are coming. Also, the body's gone. So there's that.
Someone took it?
I'll explain. I've got my
Great.
notes.
No one's in there, by the way. That's been empty for years. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so all right, so that we're clear. The fire being set was on purpose.
Yeah, they did it as a form of...
Yeah, that was me.
They're just like this.
Hey, JD.
Yep.
How close is this house to like other houses?
I mean, reasonably close. They're not like, townhouses like right on top of each other, but this is a small island community, so it is not impossible that this fire could spread. So
Okay.
if those sirens belong to fire trucks, that does lower that probability.
I mean, if they're not already there, they could be there soon. It's not exactly hard to miss.
Okay. We don't really have much of a choice. We need to go. So
Yep.
Oh, I'm going. What did you found that the body was gone?
yes. I have reason to believe that it disappeared much like our sniper friend did. There was the area where the body was incredibly warm, like the area heated up. Like a flash, and then they were gone. There was a scorch mark on the seat.
Teleportation device. Shit. Or something.
Right. And based on the fact that Dr. Voss has sort of been here doing things, like they've been connected to whatever's been going on, it's not unlikely that there was something in there, like in their body,
Oh, shit.
that just allowed for that. Unless, someone is a fan of witchcraft, I suppose. I don't listen, it's a new age.
I just kind of gestures towards the bear, just like, oh, fucking no, but look at that one now.
Christian, could you roll with Shadow real quick?
Sure can. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that insight. Thank you so much.
So, Christian, take that insight. You're thinking back to that scorch mark on the chair, and for an instant, and I think you even pull out your phone where you took the picture, you look at it and it wavers. And you think you see something. But, I mean, optical illusions, right? You can see religious iconography and a piece of toast. You could certainly see something hidden in this. And so you have that moment, but then you're like, no, that was just a scorch mark.
Okay.
So the house has been empty for years.
Yeah, maybe it was. I mean, given that the sniper was on it, maybe it was. It. It could have been a cover house that whoever Mara works with, that company, whatever they're doing on this island, monitoring shit, was using it as a cover.
I'm gonna check the houses on either side.
And what are you looking for? Like signs of habitation?
Yep.
Not going to make you roll with awareness. Those houses look like they are likely lived in.
Okay.
The lawns are neatly trimmed. The paint is updated. They don't look abandoned. But then you're pretty sure this house didn't look abandoned earlier either.
Try the door, and then if it's locked, I'm gonna go get to the car so we can leave.
It is locked.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, the bearer will sort of pause for a moment at the car, kind of frowning, then sort of pull out the keys.
Oh yeah, you don't know how to do that, do you?
I do. But it was a long time ago.
One of us can drive. I don't mind driving.
That might be wise.
Yeah. Takes the keys.
And so I would imagine as the three of you head out, the first order of business is to go in the opposite direction from the
Yeah.
sirens and be
Yeah.
nowhere near here.
Yep.
Were there like people running around like upset? Anybody else notice what we were doing? Like, or did this feel. What I want to know is maybe I could roll with awareness about this, but did this feel like a movie set? This
What?
have a feeling of yeah, I'm kind of wondering were we were what how many people were actually there? Because we were in a crowded restaurant and then suddenly it seemed like we were quite alone. Is that just a feature of the medium in which we are playing the game, or was that an impression that the bearer also got?
That is a very valid question to ask. And since you are
I hate
not
this.
driving, I think it's also fair that this is something that the bearer of the sacred flame would be observing. And so you have been in Slatethorn before, of course. You have
Mhm.
familiarity, and you know it is a real place with real people. I mean, a number of them were a part of your cult.
Mhm.
A number of them were brought to the island by Raven. Some
Mhm.
found it on their own. So you know that this town exists. And when you were sitting there in that restaurant, it also felt real. Like those felt like people having conversations, enjoying the time. Their fear, and you know all about fear, felt palpable. But it was almost like that changed the moment they were out of there. Because you realize there should have been a crowd. I mean, people would not have just jumped in their cars for the most part and left. Some might, to have gotten to safety, but it's also a small town. There were homes right there. Like, there would have to be some people remaining or reacting or too scared to move whatever it might be.
Mhm.
And it's like the crowd just dispersed. And that combined with the fact that at least 3 of these houses, maybe more, had the feeling of being lived in, and then that changed, does give a feeling that there is a staged quality to this. Whether it's the whole island is a different question. But there is something about this that does not feel right and does not feel like the Slate Thorn you remember.
This place has changed.
Yeah. It's usually what happens with, the decades.
Right.
Maybe less cult shit. I can't say that for certainty, given that this place is weird as fuck. Not your cult shit, I know that much.
Do we know that for sure?
I'm like 80% sure. I have not seen anything like burning or been seeing scorch marks around places or.
I saw a scorch mark.
Where the body, where Mara was?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's been.
No,
There's
I
been
get
a
it.
lot. There's been a
There's been a
lot.
whole lot.
It's been a real fucking lot.
Did you take a picture?
I did.
May I see?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably fucking expert on scorch marks.
They just like look at you, like just sort of look at you, like they don't even nod, but like their face, Rachel's face doesn't change, but like their glance looks like a smirk, like just the flick of their eye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I will
And
show the photo.
what's up with this? What's up with this picture? What do I glean from this in my vast experience of burning people?
I'm going to have you make a shadow roll as well.
Sick. Love a shadow roll. Love to roll that with one of my characters that has a 0 in shadow.
I think it's fine.
That's a 7.
Okay. And so for the bearer of the sacred flame, I think this makes sense because you are much more focused on the burn mark itself. Like you are not looking at it through the same lens that Christian was looking through it as, or like what even Kai might be looking at it. The first thing that stands out to you is it doesn't feel right. It doesn't look like a burn caused by flame. And you're pretty sure it's not a burn like an electric burn either. In fact, it rankles because what would make a burn like this? Maybe something radioactive, but not something that you have seen before. But what starts to really stand out to you is a figure that seems to be emerging from it. A figure with horns and wings. And you're not sure what it means. but it doesn't look accidental. It looks like it's captured the image of whatever caught on flame. Well, not flame. Whatever caused that heat.
So the image, that burn scar, that scorch mark, resembles a figure with horns and wings, as if it was made, in fact, by something in that shape emitting that heat.
And it's small. I want to be clear. It's not like the entire chair was engulfed. It is right around, from what you would gauge just given the angle, right around the area between Dr. Voss's shoulder blades.
Okay. Huh. Cool. So it would have been right where Dr. Voss's shoulder blades would have been. Okay.
I'd say it's about like palm sized.
Okay. Interesting. They hand it back. They don't say any of that. They know something and they will not tell me. Those others within.
Oh,
all right.
can't imagine.
Well,
What do you know of this force that moves against us?
not near enough. We're like the entertainment or the test subjects, as far as I can tell. We are being observed.
Where do you think all the people went?
Reset into whatever next scene we're gonna go to, I suppose. Or into the walls. I don't know.
Home,
Nothing.
maybe?
What homes?
The ones that aren't here? I don't know where those people are from. I mean, it's a small fucking island. This whole thing can't be fake. Like, this island has been here.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you lived on this island.
Sure. And so did, a couple of iterations of me.
Right, and the...
Lots of fucked up shit keeps happening here. I'm sorry. That was improper of me to say.
Oh, it's alright.
I'm sorry. It's
You're good.
Lots of bad things have been happening here. And it would not be surprising if everything has just been set up.
Well, it didn't start a setup because the ghosts don't go away because we have to figure out what broke and then stop it from breaking further, like finish the unfinished and all that fucking mumbo jumbo, whatever the fuck it means, all ambiguous shit.
Right. Were the pieces put in place, I assume, to try and find the right configuration to stop whatever it is that's been happening over and over again on this island.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer not to be added to the roster of ghosts on this island who's going to come back and haunt someone's ass.
This body is only 39 years old. The one I'm wearing.
Yes. Hate that phrase. What's your point?
I died in the 1970s. I died in 1971. Raven would know.
That's
Rachel was born in 1985. There are 15 years unaccounted for. Where was I?
Not entirely sure. There are missing pieces. I think. So you go ahead.
I may have gotten those dates wrong of when
It would have
exactly
been
I died. It would have been
1984, I think, just because we're still in technically 2023.
okay. It would have been 1984, but also, did he die earlier? He might have died earlier than that. They might have died earlier than that.
Might have.
Yeah.
There's still like 15 to 17 years unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the math is still fun.
Math.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the
the
same
math
ballpark.
is still mathing.
Mathin'.
Yeah.
Math's still mathing.
The
Um,
There's
math
still a gap
doesn't line
there.
up. Yep. Yeah.
mhm.
Where was I?
I don't know.
Well, there-
I mean, I don't know if there's always I don't know if there's always an immediate one-to-one.
What's
You are yourself a dead man.
I am.
Do you speak to the others within?
Yes. Sometimes.
Can you do the math on your deaths and births?
I'm working on it actively. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking, but I'm also in here. So hey JD, how's
What's
that
up?
math look? How's that math look, bud?
The math does vary from cycle to cycle. There are some where it seems like it was almost immediate. There are some where there were longer periods of time.
Mhm.
And I think it's fair to say, as you're trying to mull over that, it does stand out to you that one possibility is that things don't reset until everyone has died. That's one possibility.
Okay.
So if one of the people involved lived for longer, that might lead to there being longer time for those who died sooner.
Mhm.
You're still not sure it entirely lines up, though.
Right.
There are still pieces, particularly in that gap between the cult and now,
Mm-hmm.
and that being so much longer than the others.
Right.
That
Okay.
feels wrong.
Okay. I would really like to have a sit down, preferably someplace where we're not going to get shot or, things are going to mysteriously set on fire. Not yours. You did that on purpose. I realized that.
I know a place.
I would like to really boil down what the connecting themes are.
Yeah, same. Might get us out of this shit sooner than later. And
And
Mara seemed to have a lot of shit on it.
and to clarify, I have a theory that the times between the resets are determined by the last one to die.
Interesting.
So there's us, the ones that were brought here. I assume Mars counted in that, or maybe there's a finite number of players that are involved.
But always have to be on the board at the same time.
Right. And
Okay.
so until all of them pass,
You can't play. Yeah.
right, the cycle is, we're still in this cycle until the last of us goes.
Fuck. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, if we're counting Sophie among them and Mara among them, track record is looking pretty bad.
And the mayor.
He's not dead.
Is he? Is he alive?
I mean, last week he was in surgery.
Sure.
I think there would have been a bit more gossip and hullabaloo if the mayor had died in the election
Sure.
season.
Or if someone had been shot in the head in the middle of a brunch.
I mean, that just
and then had
happened.
someone burned down a house.
Someone
That's
burned
still
down a house.
happening.
Someone set the hotel on fire.
Yeah.
And we were always alive. And we were walking away.
Oh God.
Do you think that were I to do that, set a house on fire in your town, no one would stop me on a relatively crowded street this Sunday afternoon? No one would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Do you think that's a normal thing to happen? Do you think that was normal?
No, this whole place has not been normal.
That wasn't normal even when I was doing it on the regular.
Oh.
Of course, then I owned the police, but
Of course you did. So, I'm not sure how old Mara was, but Sophie would have. I think Sophie was younger than me. So Sophie would have been the last.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been second to last. And then Weston and Mara somewhere in the middle, and then, which means
Yeah, I think
Bill was the
I think
first.
Weston is older. Sorry, yeah, Weston's older than Mara, I think.
Okay. So then the order: Rachel, Weston, Mara, me, Sophie was the last, potentially
Of us.
last
Right.
of us.
Of us, right.
And it all started with the fucking TV ward. Was it just that the fucked up experiments Thurston was doing and the fire and everyone dying, like that was enough to cause this like rupture that never healed and just awful shit kept spewing out of every few decades?
I don't know. You said you knew a place.
Yes. In the woods.
The woods, great. Okay. I'm just driving, following the signs.
The bearer will direct folks to that place Rachel wandered into that one time.
Oh no!
As in the abandoned remains of what were those structures?
Cool. Kill Bill sirens going off in
Mhm.
Christian's head.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do not like that. You do not like that at all. Della, would you like to paint us a word picture of what it looks like now?
I want you to begin by imagining a KOA campground. Got sort of a central location where there's probably like water pumps and things like that. And then a couple little scattered buildings, small buildings. But all of those buildings are charred. You see the remains of colorful banners. You see outside of some of the buildings, there are little cairns, stones built up in them. The place, over the decades, it doesn't smell like smoke anymore, but it does, except for immediately after it rains and the drops disturb the dust and the soot gets in the air again. And the bearer like walks in, and you can see their gait visibly relaxes as they enter their space. And you see they reach up, and into one of the carved timbers they dig their three of their fingers, and just carve 3 lines with their fingers, the middle line longer than the outside 2. And they sort of sigh and guide you all to a stone building that is, if you've ever seen those like sort of like piled stone churches, those old stacked stone, like flint stone churches in parts of Ireland and England. It looks a lot like that. There's just sort of a doorway and a single round window very, very high up. And sort of stone benches on the inside. And they invite you all in. It's a sort of a small, close space. And they sort of take a seat on the floor with their back sort of snugged up against the wall.
Kai, how are you feeling as you enter?
Kai has been getting a sense of deja vu. She's just like, the fuck is that about? Oh, okay, that's probably what that's about. Great, not adding another one mentally. I think as he's walking through it, he feels that itching sensation in the back of his skull of like, this is a bad fucking place. This is some fucked up shit went down here. I can be in this place. I don't like being in this place. That's the feeling he's getting.
And Kai, you of course have a new addition to the mix because
Yeah.
all ghosts, except for some of the missing ones, are currently accounted for. As you are moving through, you feel that sense of familiarity. You remember being in this exact building before. And you remember the constant threat of danger that hung over your head. With the possibility that they might find out why you were really there.
Yup.
How's Raven doing? Being back in the
Raven,
space.
who's that? He's not
I
here.
don't know him.
I'm so sorry. He's not participating.
It's sleep time. He gotta recharge.
Yeah, like the barrier's out, and now they're back. Now they're back home. You know, if like lock, double lock, padlock, throw away all of the keys. We're not here. At least that is what he's trying to tell himself, as much as possible.
And so the three of you settle in, prepare to have a conversation, see about theorizing. In some ways, it feels safe in there. It feels protected and sheltered. Nothing has happened in this space that was not intentionally designed to happen in this space. It feels almost removed from those parts of the island that are feeling less and less real and genuine. This is as real as it gets. And I think right there, we are going to take about a 5-minute break because we'll probably end up breaking a little early today. But I'm going to give everyone a chance to get some water, stretch their legs, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Genres that much. I mean, what is the difference between that? They're both directed by David Lynch.
It's
Genres are a funny little thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I don't think we've changed genre because the genre was always Lynchian, and I mean,
It's true.
you know, I don't know. I've never seen Twin Peaks, so
I mean,
We
I feel
need
like
to
we're
fix
falling in there.
that. Yeah.
Isn't it
We're just-
still on Netflix?
I
Or
don't have
no, is it on
Netflix.
Oh, fair. Or is
But
it
if
on
it's on HBO, I could see it.
The Return was, so maybe the original series is, right? That's how we watched it.
You think I remember which streaming service what
No,
belongs to
because
at
it was
this
just something you
point?
experienced.
You think I remember anything about that except that exactly
You can't. Yeah.
there aren't words.
It definitely got way more Lynchian than the first two seasons.
Okay, but that not that we need to go down this path, but that one episode, what was it, like fucking episode 8?
Oh, with the slow-mo zoom in on the nuclear explosion
Uh-huh.
and discovering the creatures inside it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It
Yeah.
was like
I'm
a
sorry?
10-minute zoom in shot to a nuclear blast and what was inside it. Wild. All in black and white. Yes, Fred.
Yeah.
Yes, it was intense.
Correct.
Thank you for. I know people on the stream can't see her, but she's back there just being my little smoke demon. It's fine.
Every so
Yep.
often, two glowing eyes just appear
In the
next
dark.
to you in the dark. Just
Perceive.
you
Yeah.
can't see. Every so often, we can kind of see a shadow detach from the other shadows and float across,
Yeah.
and then two glowing eyes.
Just two glowing eyes. If I call her, she might say, Freya.
Oh.
Yep, just like that. Just like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Amazing.
How do I do a
Amazing.
screen grab here?
I know.
And
It's
Please
not
do.
yes,
like that.
and a tragedy that we cannot get it on the stream. But if you join the
It's true.
Discord, you can maybe get to see the screen cap.
It's true.
Except I wasn't able to do it because I don't know how to do a screen grab on my computer. Because I'm
I might have gotten a blurry
moron.
one that I will post when I trim it
I
down.
mean, like fully, full cryptid. It's fine.
I love her.
And just speaking of that, there's our Discord link if you want to join and get to experience cryptid cats.
So
And
many
Cryptid
variety of
Community
cats.
College whenever that happens again.
That is
Mhm.
true.
A whole bevy of cryptids.
And I was going to say, speaking of cryptids, but that's not really the right thing to say because, well,
Debatable with the bear.
with the bear, we don't know, but right now there is no bear. What there is campground, overgrown, with burned shelters, and a church that looks very much out of place. What I think is the most striking, though, that it's been 50 years. Nature should have reclaimed this place. And it is wild and untamed, but not at the level that it should be at, given that length of time. And before we join our trio in the church, we spend just a moment or two outside. It is midday at this point. Strange, though, because the fog is rolling in. And it is thick and it is cloying and it looks like it would come up your lungs in the same way that smoke would were you to inhale it. And in that fog, we see the outlines of figures. And I want to ask the bearer of the sacred flame, what did the initiation ritual look like when new members joined?
It was always a big party, big celebration. We were welcoming new people into the family. Everyone would wear flame colors. I would wear blue. We had we had a brand with my mark. Everyone would get drunk, get high, get happy. And everyone would line up to take their vows, to accept the mark, choose where to accept the mark. Those were good days.
What would happen for those who refused? Were they still welcome at the table?
Only one. Only one. For that, no. They were not welcome. You were in or you were out.
And I think we all must know what made Raven special enough to stay, despite the fact that until recently, he never accepted the mark.
Yes. There are words I will not even say before God.
And we see the outlines of those figures. We see those who willingly take the mark. And I imagine we see Raven guide away any of those who refuse.
His ceremony had to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. And now Raven is keeping as much of a distance as he can from the bearer of the sacred flame, though your hand does now carry the mark that it never did during his life. And you, Kai, are just in over your head, as you have been this entire time,
Yup.
as you sit in this small space, the three of you together, now missing two of your number.
You should let me talk to Rebecca. It'll be great.
I was just thinking Rebecca really missed having a time in the 70s. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, the bear sort of sits there, has sort of a reminiscing look on Rachel's face, and then looks kind of the transition is not like a subtle, like going from like, oh, okay, to business kind of thing. It is immediate.
Velociraptor.
And just going from like calm, content to all business immediately. Looks directly at Christian and says,
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it all seems like loops, right? Like cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to see what the themes, the tropes are. The sort of, it's the connecting pieces between the different events, right? Like obviously, one of the big ones is flame. fire.
Oh yeah. Varying degrees. You got the obvious one with Colt, and then the TB ward, and then you got the more subtle one with Rebecca and the burned
The Ash
crosses.
Wednesday, right there.
Mm-hmm.
They heat up the cross and burn it into the flesh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the
What else
ashes
is
and then the flesh. Yeah.
the ashes, right? What else is there?
Sophie died burning.
Thanks. Yep.
Right.
In a
Right.
church. Well, from out of a church. Yep. I don't think there was
Faith.
religion, faith. Yeah.
Doesn't have to necessarily be church, but it is faith.
Yeah, because Thurston had that weird thing with sickly bodies.
Right.
But no one followed Thurston.
Nope.
No, but he, from what I can gather, he was following something.
He didn't, but also he didn't burn it down. Did he?
No, I think that was Gwydion, right? Or Finley.
No, Finley burned it down. It was Gwydion's idea.
Yes. That is an extreme way to deal with one man, though.
Here, I'll amend my previous statement. Not faith, devotion.
Devotion. No, that fits Thurston better. Without bumping
Right.
Rebecca and
also
this
fits. It also fits you, and Finley and the Finleys.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're still going strong.
Right. It fits Rebecca and the cult. I think the biggest problem is that there's a gap.
Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like much obvious shit happened on this island between now and when the cult stuff happened.
Right. There has to be something that happened in between then.
Yeah.
And now. But it's not noted.
Hey, JD. How much do I know about Anna?
I think it's fair to say that you know a lot. I mean, no one could move into your territory without you getting to know them.
How much do I know about Anna's previous employers? That I'm not dragging out of Rachel's head, because wow, she's not letting me do that.
I think there would be probably a vague awareness that Anna had ties at some point to the government, but not necessarily, especially if you're not going into Rachel's head, the specific government agencies and types of projects that she was involved in. But you would definitely recognize, I mean, I would almost imagine that the bearer of the sacred flame found that in some ways distasteful, like almost like you were created in a lab.
Yeah.
Unless they would have been into that.
I think their cult did not revolve around fire, it revolved around water, right? As I recall.
I would have to double check that.
Just
I know
double-check that.
fire
Okay.
was an element.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't have Cass here to answer all of these questions, so I will forbear. But yeah.
Did any of you No.
No, what?
Devotion. You. Come.
Yep.
To what are you devoted? You are the only one here from the modern day. What is the devotion?
Uh, I mean, my devotions might be kind of different from your devotions in subject and intensity, but uh, I would have to
Think
say,
intensity, not subject. What would you burn a man alive for?
mm,
What would you
my,
drown a man for, Kai?
I was about to answer that. Yeah. Yeah, Kai doesn't really hesitate. He just says, my best friend.
The body I'm wearing is fighting me. It will not reveal.
Rachel? Yeah, that completely tracks from what I've learned about her in the past
Yeah,
36 hours. Yeah.
she's strong.
Repeating. Can you glean anything from yours?
Power. I think he grew up not having, and I don't think he ever wants to be that way again.
I'm gonna
So
have to roll some dice real quick. Hold on.
Does the phrase the Watchers mean anything to either of you?
does it?
Okay.
No, unfortunately not.
Mm-mm.
Just told we had to be wary of them, so.
Hey, JD.
Yep, what's up?
I would like to do a thing. Because the part that, is of course eating away at Christian is the fact that there is a portion of this that is just one big giant fuck you question mark, right? Okay. So I would like to roll Echoes of the Past.
Oh!
I would love that for you. And I also want to
Very
check in. Della,
yeah.
what did you roll?
I was rolling to see how much of the bearer's reaction showed on their face,
Mm-hmm.
and they got an 8. So I think they controlled themselves well enough that if nobody was looking, it would probably be fine.
I was looking.
Kai was
Hello.
looking. He asked the question.
Oh.
He's back and forth, back and forth.
Okay.
What did they
When
see?
you see just a Rachel's face is always very, very still, or Rachel is very controlled. Rachel has a very placid vibe right up until she doesn't anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The bearer has a very different energy. Their body, from the neck down, is always very still, but their face is very mobile. They're their like lips are twitching, their eyes are very expressive, like they're very expressive features. They're always like smiling or frowning, like they're have a very expressive face. And you see when they talk about something that Weston didn't have something as a child, and they never wanted that ever again. They never wanted to feel powerless ever again. You see just a like a woundedness pass across their face. But again, with all this, the very sort of flickering nature of their affect, uh, you know, it passes quickly.
Mm.
Hmm. Cool, 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 cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all.
Fascinating, one might say.
Good
My
to
pleasure.
note. A data point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna send. I need to. I've got a data dump to send to you and Q actually.
Incredible. Okay. Alrighty. So roll with shadow.
Yep.
Okay, just to be sure, you got any other ghosts for me?
So we'll
Okay.
find out.
JD.
I guess we will. Okay. 8.
Okay.
8. So it gets
Nice, nice, nice.
So you will take a point of psychic damage,
Mm-hmm.
and you can choose one question, or you can give me, because I'm always going to allow this, an amended question if nothing quite fits.
Okay. What is a memory of mine from a previous cycle, with the caveat that I am thinking specifically of the gap cycle? I will take whatever other Rammies come with focusing on that, but I need you to know that I'm doing that.
And so you are trying to find the edges of that missing piece. And it's strange because before, when you have fallen into memories, sometimes it's been almost literal falling into memories, as happened. Sometimes it has been a little more figurative. Sometimes they've shown up like they were your memories, but you know that they weren't. But you always had a sense of who they came from. Whenever you ended up in one, there was no question in your mind that that was Weston. Well, of course, that was Weston. That was Russell. That was Raven. Now, more recently, being connected to Christian. And you are suddenly sitting at a desk. And it is strange. It does not feel like it makes sense. There's almost a haziness to it because you think for a moment, well, Weston sits at a desk. Is this at the law firm? It's a nice desk, though. Nicer than where Weston is currently at in his career trajectory. And you look down, you see your hands, and I mean, you can't really gauge the exact age of someone just by their hands, unless perhaps they are much older. But you would imagine these are the hands belonging to someone of 30 years, 40 years, maybe. It's a little hard to tell. Which doesn't necessarily feel like it makes sense, but isn't impossible with the timeline. You see stacks of folders beside you. Different names of projects, maybe. They all have symbols on them. No code words. Letters and numbers, yes, but also letters you don't recognize. Symbols that you don't recognize. And you continue to look around, just trying to get a sense, and you realize how jarring it is because this doesn't feel like a memory. You feel like you're in the body. Like you are looking around this space for the first time. And you glance from side to side, you see bookcases filled with volume after volume of books and journals. You do not see much by way of personal adornment, but you do see a plaque sitting on the desk. Do you reach for it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You pick it up and turn it towards you. And etched onto it are the words, the devil. And as you read that, you hear a voice inside your head say, "You shouldn't be here. You are not allowed to see this." And you are pushed out, finding yourself almost sprawling to the ground back in the church, blood starting to drip from your nose.
You go. What happened, you, Christian?
Um,
Still Christian?
yeah, still me.
Okay.
I I tried to find the gap.
Oh. So
Tried
notice.
to Yeah. Um and I saw something I wasn't supposed to see.
Hmm? What's that?
I was in this was at a desk. A really fancy desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
CEO or something.
Surrounded by books and journals. It looked like a place what Weston would be in, except not quite as nice. He's not quite there yet.
Oh.
Hmm.
When I was there, it felt like I was in the body.
Like you were possessing someone.
Yep. And there was a little placard.
Oh, so you got the name?
Title.
Uh-huh.
The Devil.
Woo!
Look at the
JD.
picture. Look at the picture in your pocket again.
What?
Okay.
Look at the
I'm gonna
picture
look at it again. I'm gonna look at it again.
What the fuck is that?
And I think it is fair to say. Well, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna still have the two of you roll with Shadow.
Okay.
Can I give them a help action?
I'll say you can give them the help action if you encourage them to look at what the Devil Tarot card looks like.
I was getting there. I was getting there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because I was gonna ask you, did I see other desks? Did I see other people? It was just me in there.
It was a huge
okay.
office meant for one person.
I got a 13, which is very appropriate.
Does the help action give me a 1?
Sure.
Cool beans. Then I got a 10.
And so, yes, the two of you look at that burn mark, and you see the same image that the bearer of the sacred flame saw earlier. You see the horns, you see the wings, and I'm gonna say, Kai, you certainly would recognize the iconography of the tarot.
Oh. Yeah, this is some tarot shit.
There's no universe in which the bearer doesn't know tarot shit.
It's not. That is so valid.
Look, at this in
Right,
the time
exactly.
period, everyone had their own deck.
Sure.
Raven would know, but Raven is not currently participating in existence right now.
It's true. It's
A
true.
mood.
Kai's just like,
Yeah.
okay. Well, maybe that's a little off topic. Rebecca kind of wheedled in, and when I asked about Watchers, because religion, she said Watchers were angels in the Bible. Gregory, I think she said, and Daniel and Enoch. I don't know Enoch. Well, I don't really know Daniel, but
Okay, so I do have a quick question because Weston just laughed in my head, like laughed at me in my head when I asked about tarot. And the other two, well, Russell doesn't know, and the other one's unresponsive. What is tarot?
It's a fortune telling system.
it's a card game. There's different archetypes and suits on it, kind of like a deck of playing cards, but more stuff. Like you have the devil, you have the tower, you have death, you have the empress, you have the lovers, and then you have like 5 of cups, 6 of pentacles, swords, wands, cups. I always forget the last one. It's like a fortune telling game with
Swords, wands, cups, pentacles. Yeah.
Pentacles.
Pentacles.
major,
Or-
minor arcana.
Or swords, staves. or staves or wands.
Yeah, those
it's-
are interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you said Arcana. This is a lot for me.
Understandable.
They didn't
The
really touch this
original-
in church.
The
They wouldn't
original
have.
game. No, the original game was similar to Bridge. You had trumps you were trying to collect.
Oh,
These trump cards
okay.
were just especially fancy. And later, people made it into a fortune telling system, and it was a whole thing in the 1950s.
When we get somewhere with internet connection, I can pull it up.
Okay. So you mentioned the other. You mentioned the Arcana. You said the devil. Something about the tower. The lovers.
There's
Or-
the devil is part of the major arcana.
The wheel.
Yeah, wheel of fortune type situation. The star, the moon, the sun. There's
No.
yeah.
This. Where we are now. The wheel.
The cycle.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay.
Okay. So then what arcana? Because I apparently was connected to the devil. How many arcana are there?
Wanna say
20?
Yeah,
I
I think
want to
there's
say
20.
20.
I think it's
Judgment
20.
is the 20th trump. No, Judgment is the 20th trump. Plot point in a book I'm writing.
It says 22. It goes from 0 to
22.
21. The full is 0.
Okay.
Mm,
So usually
zero.
unnumbered.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Okay.
Path.
Um.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So should we, I guess, figure out what we are?
Well,
Maybe
it's
that'll give some context for what we're doing, what we need to do.
What did you do? I can see if I can replicate it.
Um, I went into my mind, sort of pulling on those tethers, the connecting line between myself and the others. And I focused on the gap, on that nothing spot.
Right. I think we should try as well. Let's see if we can spam call the devil.
or whatever other titles they wear in that place. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, I think yeah, let's all roll echoes of the past.
Yeah!
Let's all
let's
roll
have-
echoes of the
All roll
past.
echoes of the past.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Summer
I'm
party
gonna roll
game.
it too. No,
What?
I'm not.
I already did it.
Ooh.
Already did that. I don't think it'd be
Yeah,
a good idea for me to do it again.
We're just riding on Q's coattails here.
Mhm. Oh
Like,
yeah.
he started the party. We're just here.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We want to be cool too.
I mean, hey, you are cool. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Ooh, 12.
We're just rolling like gangbusters tonight, which
It's
means
true.
next session when Cass comes
We're getting
back, we're gonna
fucked.
go like
Mhm.
dog shit.
It's going to
Yeah.
be bad.
It's gonna be
It's gonna
bad.
be real bad
It's
for
going to
us.
be real bad.
These dice
Sorry,
will betray
Cass.
us.
Okay, so we had a 10 and we had a 12. And that does mean for both of you 2 questions that you can ask. You can also save one for when you are in the memory, if that is what you choose to do. One of you will, of course, take a point of psychic damage. The one with the 12 will be spared.
Hey.
Okay.
That's
So,
fine.
for both of you, is the first question going to be what is a memory of mine from a previous cycle, focusing on that space?
Yes. Same.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to start with you, Della. You are walking down a beach. You hear the waves lapping at the shore. You smell the salt in the air. The sun is warm. It is comforting. But it feels wrong. It feels almost oversaturated. Like the colors are just a little bit too vibrant, just enough to feel off. The sounds are just the slightest bit distorted. It's like nowhere you've ever seen, and you've seen some weird fucking things. But it gives a very we're not in Kansas anymore type vibe. And this is going to be a question that I'm actually going to say this may be not so much a question I ask, but something you realize. Because we've established that each iteration looks a little different, that there can be sometimes some overlap, but it's not as though you are physically the same person each time. Unlike what happened with Q, you look down at yourself and you feel almost hazy, almost insubstantial. And I'm curious if Rachel, Shaban, bearer of the sacred flame, all of these pieces wrapped up in one, Dr. Finley, were to be boiled down to their essence, what would we see reflected back?
I think what you see is a little fire, just a little in a hearth. But As you look at it, you realize that everything is made out of straw. It's ready to ignite at any moment. What was my role in this cycle?
You don't have one because this isn't a cycle. This is the space between.
I think looking at the water, looking at themselves, they, and I mean they as in a plural, they all ask in a voice that blends all of them together. Just, why can't we stay here? Why are we?
And I think it's at that moment you had described that essence of this collective as being fire surrounded by straw. Thank you for the follow. And that straw catches fire. And you feel yourself burn. And you almost know what's going to happen before it does. Because you then feel yourself rebuilt out of the ashes.
Ah, okay. Shit, my problem is I don't my deck is not Rider Waite, so I don't know which cards map to which. So I will take some time and do some looking at stuff.
Above the table, I will just put it out there
Mm-hmm.
that you and Steph and Cass may not find a tarot card that represents you.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Cool, 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 cool.
Nani the fuck?
I see how it is. I see how it is. We've each all got our own little puzzles to figure out. Okay.
Oh, what the fuck?
No. Oh no.
We gotta put our puzzles together and then put the puzzles together. Oh fuck! There's layers. Shit.
Stephen Lynch's Mist. All right, let's go.
And I think we are going to pan over to Steph as Kai leans into these threads. And, you know, maybe it's your experience with costuming, but it is so easy to follow them for you. It is simple. And you also find yourself moving through the natural world. Though in your case, you are on a hiking trail. You are surrounded by tall trees. The path is clear and neatly maintained. There are occasionally small bridges or paths made of stone. And there's almost a meditative quality to it. You hear birds. And I imagine that one of the things that starts to catch your attention is how many different types of trees there are. Not just the fact that they're different, because of course there can be different types of trees in the same place, but trees that are clearly from the West Coast, trees that are clearly from the East Coast, trees that would not be alive and thriving at the same time of year. All just kind of mixed in together around you. And I imagine that with a roll of 12, before we talk about the essence of the collective that includes Kai and what that looks like, I imagine that there is a feeling of frustration. Not because you're walking. There's actually something really soothing about this path. But you're not supposed to be alone here. Where are the others? Why haven't you seen them? Why are you walking this path alone?
You're asking Kai that?
I'm putting thoughts out there. If you choose to answer, I will accept it. You can also keep it for personal self-reflection if you would like to hold on to that.
No, I think Kai in this space where it's finally calm and not threatening. There is the frustration of like, no, I'm alone here. I'm not supposed to be alone here. It doesn't make sense. Has the recollection of, or the realization, of course I'm alone here. I'm pushing them back. I'm afraid to lose my sense of self if I let them in. Too long, too much. It's my body. I need to control it. Can't trust it with anyone else. But they are here. Whether I want them to be or not, whether they want to be or not, we're all in this situation. and pushing back has only resulted in isolation, even in a place as peaceful as this where nothing should hurt me or them. So it doesn't make sense to keep pushing.
And I think in that moment that you think that makes it reality, or whatever this space is as reality. And I'm wondering, what do we see when we see the essence of Kai and the burned and Rebecca and Mrs. Finley? What does that amalgamation look like?
I think for Kai, he's always been he's never been one to like kind of take what he perceives as like a more boring path. So I think for him, it's vibrant colors. It's bright pinks and violets, some blues in there, just kind of like a swirl of colors. And then the others are in different shades of colors. Rebecca's are more muted, and there are shades of blue and green swirling together, almost like the water of the ocean. But there's also like vibrant turquoise, like more Mediterranean oceans, where you can still see the sand through it. And I would say Mrs. Finley, Ivy, is reds. Like there's and pinks, there's like the soft pinks of roses, and then there's the more vibrant reds, like blood red, but not in like a way that feels unnatural, because that's a part of life. And the red's at the center of a fire, some oranges on the edges, and then with the burned, Harlow is yellows and whites, almost like much softer than the others. It's kind of like the light when it's through the leaves on a bright day. It just kind of cuts through the branches and it gleams so bright you almost can't look at it. Hello.
And interesting that in comparison to our other collective, there are all of those individual differences, even at the essence. There is the colors that bind them, but they each have their own. What is your second question?
And you said we could amend them somewhat?
Mm-hmm.
Playing off of the what is my biggest regret, what is the biggest thing I've left unfinished that's haunted me through the cycles?
That one feels hard.
Yeah, I can do something else.
Because, well, I mean, it feels hard to you
Oh, okay.
as you try to tap into that, because There are so many answers and so many regrets. Each cycle comes with its own. Whether it is for Harlow as the most recent one before Kai, wondering if he could have done more to help, wondering if he could have had a greater impact. Whether it's Rebecca, who is still struggling with whether or not she was a monster, whether or not Isaiah loved her, and whether everything she did was ultimately worth it. Going back even further, thinking back to the tuberculosis ward. That's perhaps the one where you feel like you have the least regret, though there is still one that stands out. Why didn't you stop the fire from happening? Why didn't you do more to save the people who got caught up in it? And so there are threads of regrets and unfinished business throughout the last 120 years. But what stands out to you the most as you're reflecting on this specific point, this space in between? It comes back to what you had thought earlier, and you now realize that there was a double meaning to it. It wasn't just where are the other iterations, it was where are the others who are stuck in this cycle with me? Why are we walking this path alone? And why aren't they here with me too? And you are just coming to this point. You're thinking, this is a space that is different. This is a space that is protected. This is the space to figure things out when everything isn't happening, when we just are for as long as we are. And this would have been the time because we should have all been here. But we weren't. And as you're thinking that, both you and the bearer of the sacred flame are pushed back into the church. You are pushed out of this space. And there's a moment where you think it might be that you're feeling just unsteady, but you realize the ground is rumbling. And we'll have a chance to be back in this church and the conversations that will follow in the next session. But until then, as we pan back, we see that the fog is even thicker. We cannot see anything of the surrounding area. All of those charred buildings are gone. There's the vague outline of the church, only because it is so large in comparison. And there is a siren going off in the distance, almost like an air raid siren. It distorts, it warbles, it echoes. And it seems to be perhaps connected to what is making the ground beneath your feet shake. And that is where we're going to pick up in 2 weeks.
Silent Hill ass ending.
Nah, man. I'm not looking. This
Pyramid Head
Puppet Pyramid Head.
comes out of this shit. I'm out. I'm leaving.
Goodbye.
Not my character. Me. I'm out.
Yeah, I feel like the bear would stay put for that.
The bear might be into that. You don't know.
If anyone, I think the bear would be like,
Listen,
actually, would you let me teach you the ways of my people?
I have been at a LARP where they had Pyramid Head as one of the enemies that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Hot and also terrifying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have every Pyramid Head LARPer I have seen has been
Don't forget the cosplayers. Don't forget the
cosplayers.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's the word I was
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah.
Intriguing to the eye and brain.
I love that at the end of tonight we are sharing and discovering things about ourselves and each other.
In and out of game.
But with that, I had promised to let us all go early. I did not let us go early because so many things happened, and
We found some
I think
secrets.
we're okay.
you found
I
secrets.
think we're all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was definitely a lot of clue uncovering today, which I have been very excited and ready for with all of the chaos that you all have been navigating.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Me too.
Lord.
Wild.
And so with that, everyone, I'm going to have us go around, do our outros, tell people where they can find you in the coming days / week / cool things you are doing. We're going to start with Steph.
Hi, I'm Steph. I've been Kai and his collective tonight. You can find me every other Tuesday over at Entropy Emporium in JD's Horror Mask game. They call us villains, where I play a cute little doomed. She's great. She has no idea she's doomed. You can also catch me next Saturday and live from the apocalypse in my table's next episode of a season of Secrets and Shadows, where I'm probably going through a real messy breakup. But I've got some friends with me. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Why?
We'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why would your relationship be ending?
Maybe because my boyfriend's a hypocrite.
Ooh.
Doesn't sound like Carmen.
Carmen, not a hypocrite? Less likely than you think. But yeah, that's where you could find me when I'm not over here.
You are having some wild things happen with characters.
Yeah.
Jumping over to the person who incredibly, I believe, has more games than I do. You are up next.
I feel like maybe that's not true, probably. Okay, so hi, I'm Q. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet. Inc. That's midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I do have a couple of things. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Alternating Tuesdays. On one Tuesday, you can find me here for Nephilim Tenebris. We're out in space, and I'm a neon gay cowboy. It's pretty great. And then the other Tuesday, you can see me at Entropy Emporium, again with JD. We're doing the Masks horror game. They call us villains. It has been a whole ass time. You can see me tomorrow, once again here, where I get to bring back Miss Dorian Black for, a season of Secrets and Shadows, a third season of Secrets and Shadows. And then we'll be back at it again on Saturday for class reunion. I'm playing Kira. He's having a whole last time. It's fine. And then Sunday, I will be over at RPGs Uncovered for Starcrier Conflict. Other than that, you can catch me on X talking to people about magic or just being a general hype man for other folk. And then I'm also part of the production staff for Tales from the Table Studios. Yeah. Also, because I don't remember, I think that the Crit Awards are still going. So like vote.
They are
And if
through
you
the 31st.
Great. So if you saw Body and Soul, the soundtrack to Forever 2, if you could vote for that, that'd be so nice. I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, yeah, that's me. That's your boy.
You were doing some really cool stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, absolutely nominate Body and Soul. That was an incredible series. And last but not least, since we do not have cast tonight, Della.
Hi, I'm Della. Here I am. I have been a conglomeration of spirits, sort of. I generally trending in kind of, I guess, like an Ada Eggfort kind of direction. Uh, you know, I suppose.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix, hell yeah.
Yeah, you know. And what am I doing? What do I do? I made this, and I also will be on this stream, I guess maybe next Thursday, depending on if the Fates, Stars, and the Department of the Army all align and allow Andy Giotis to ever run Never Ember's Enigma again. I will then be back.
I think Bedlam might be more the problem than that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we'll have Andy back, but I think
We
we'll
may
be
have
missing
Andy back.
Bedlam.
We may not have Bedlam. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Fates, stars, and vagaries of whatever the fuck Bedlam does. And then I'm here, and then I also run Thy Kingdom Come, which is a game that you can see here. It's fun. We have fun. And that's what I do. Those are my things.
And Thy Kingdom Come is a not traumatic game at all. Everybody's having a good time. We laughed.
Oh.
We laughed a lot last time.
We did. That he's not lying. They're not lying. We did laugh a lot.
You gotta
last
laugh to
time.
get through the horrors and the trauma, you know?
There was very little horror and trauma. It was an extremely comedic episode.
Yeah.
Until I got shot, Della. Until I got shot.
You got shot relatively early on.
It was like halfway through.
Yeah, you still took a little brain to the library.
Yeah, we
After.
did.
This is a library.
Me to the library.
I've been thinking about that for days. It has the same energy to me as Julia repetitively saying the baby.
It does. Yeah.
The baby.
All right, and it is late, so I will go quickly, mostly because everybody's plugged most of the things I'm doing. So, 90% of the games that were just mentioned, you can see me in and or running. The 2 editions I will throw out there. I will not only be in class reunion, not playing Hunter, playing someone else on Saturday morning. I will then be with Exquisite Corpse Presents for Sister Cities that very evening, so you can catch me twice that day. And then on Sunday, I will be back here for our next Horizons and Halcyons game as part of the expanded Academy H verse, where Section 8 will be premiering. And I will be reprising a role that I played back in our Falling Stars arc. Speaking of Watchers, you will get to see Watcher.
Hey.
And I think that'll do it for us here. I'm going to drop just a quick link to the socials, and then I think we are going to go raid our friends over at Entropy Emporium. Since we mentioned them a couple of times, they are in the middle of their finale of their heist game. And so we will say hi to the lovely Bazooka who just walked by Della. We love that.
Buddy.
She is a good dog. She smells
Okay.
very bad.
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
It's okay. She thinks she's amazing.
she
And
is.
so with that, as we set up the raid, say goodnight, cast.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, cast.
Good night,
Good night.
cast.